In the gallery, you'll find a portrait of another U.S. Marine, one of our now fallen heroes of Ukraine, Ethan Hertweck. He was only 19. He was only 19 when he answered the call to come to Ukraine to serve and find a way to be helpful with his experience and background. And here tonight we have his family, Ethan Hertweck's family. Please come up. We've had the privilege and pleasure to get to meet the Hertweck family. This is their second time to Ukraine. This is Leslie and John, Ethan's parents, and Hannah and Gabriel, Ethan's siblings.
It's pretty amazing that we're able to even be here tonight. We just found out February 3rd that our son had been recovered after 14 months of waiting. We're standing up here tonight representing every foreign family and families the R.T.W. Weatherman Foundation is helping who have lost a loved one fighting for Ukraine's freedom. Our son, Ethan Hertweck, was a U.S. Marine veteran, pretty young. He went in at 17. His career didn't take off like he had hoped and planned, and found himself honorably discharged shortly after he went into the School of Infantry. He wasn't happy. When Russia invaded, he answered the call. He told us, if I don't go, who will? If I don't step up and stand up and do what I believe in, then who will do it? And he always challenged us in that, in standing up for what we believed in and taking action. He came to Ukraine for freedom. He didn't come here for politics. He came here for the people and to fight for freedom for the people here. He was an American that stood for freedom, no matter where it was, whether it was Ukraine or wherever he could go to help, he was going to answer the call. When he came here the second time, March 2023, he went to Poland first and got his combat medical license because he knew he wanted to come here and help save lives. He wanted to fight, but also to help save lives in a medical position. Then he was referred to go to the Trident Defense Initiative and help there where he could use his skills in combat fighting. He may not have been in the Marine Corps for a long time, but he had a really exceptional skill set. He knew what he was doing. He knew how to fight. And we heard many stories from guys since then and how well he used an AK-47 for someone being from the U.S. He was good at it, but he went to TDI and helped train Ukrainians there, taught them combat skills, taught them how to save lives. And we were told after every training cycle, when they would graduate Ukrainians to go out, that he would cry because he knew that he was sending them out to a front line and he wasn't with them, that he couldn't be there to make sure that they would be okay. And it was after a few months there, in one of his last training cycles, he decided it was time for him to go and to be on the front lines to help. And that was his mission from the beginning. He didn't go blindsided. He went knowing full well what he was going to do. He knew that he had our support as loving parents, and that was important for us, that we showed him love and support, and this is what he knew he had to do. He ended up going with the 131st Reconnaissance Battalion for a few months. They became a family. He did missions with them and got to just form a family with them. He decided he and two other of his brothers there moved on to the Chosen Company of the 59th. That is where on December 4th, 2023, they were on a mission together, and he was killed trying to rescue his brother who had been hit. We were told he took out 12 Russians. We don't know if that's true, but we're going with it. But he was covering their unit, and his brother was hit. He moved out of his position to help save his life, and in turn, he was hit. But he lived for a couple hours. He was able to help render aid even though he had been hit. He gave his life for his brothers. He saved his unit for what he did at 21 years old. 21 years old, he went as a young man here to help. We got the call December 11th from the U.S. Embassy that our son was missing in action but presumed dead. What do we do? As Americans, you'd think your kids with the U.S. military, everything's taken care of. Here we were, an American family. Our son came to a foreign country to help and was killed. Now what do we do? The R.T.W. Weatherman Foundation has been amazing. We have been able to get through so much over the 14 months with their help, their direction, just everything they have done. I can't even go into, it would take forever to go into everything they have done for us. And we have been so blessed, us and many families, and Shep's family, I know his mom, Andrew Weber, Lance Lawrence, oh gosh, I can name all of the other guys that we know their families. We didn't know we'd ever get to come. We got the call February 3rd, so just a few weeks ago, that his remains had been recovered through an exchange. Never imagining we'd get the call, and we got it, and I breathed. I felt like I hadn't taken a breath in 14 months. And all I know is I took the loudest sigh I ever had done, and I started crying. It was bittersweet because he's not coming home alive, but we're able to move forward and to lay him to rest at home in California where he grew up. So we came here. We said when he was recovered, if and when we would come here again as a family for his repatriation. So we're here, and we were so happy we got to be here for this tonight because it was just so random that it happened to be while we were here. So we are so excited to be here. If you want to read more of his story and his bio, it's with the portrait. There was a portrait that an artist in New York City, Tatiana Horoshko, did of him. She's Ukrainian. It's pretty amazing. I just want to leave you with a quote that Ethan said all the time. All that's necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. Slava Ukraini.
Back in 23, or was it 2020? My dates are 23 when it came out. Yeah. Back in 2023, the second time Ethan came back to Ukraine, the second time. At the airport, I didn't try to stop him, but I said, Ethan, is there anything I can say or do to make you not get on that plane? And he knew full well before he said to me no. He had my full support. And this wasn't the way that I expected to come into a relationship with a beautiful country, beautiful people. and so many organizations, or the R.T.W. Weatherman Foundation, for supporting us through all this. I'm thankful now that I've gotten to see what I've seen, because before I was really just your average American living your comfortable life, knowing that there's something going on across the world that's not really affecting you and your everyday way of life. But Ethan was a challenging individual. He always wanted to make sure that we saw from his perspective about what was really going on. And even after speaking to him through Signal on the phone, the first couple months before he went to the front lines, the reality of wartime still hadn't really affected me. It hadn't sunk in yet, because what am I trying to say? He still seemed like that. Hang on. I'm sorry. The reality hit when I knew that there were more mortar attacks coming in the background during training, and the fact that his life was really at a point now where there's danger going on. And I am so thankful for these guys that have been doing for years what he had just started doing, that I could trust him being in care, or I could trust them with being with my son and knowing that he was with great people. And I'm very proud as a father, and I want to thank you guys for letting his short legacy live on. I just want all these guys who have given their life to not have their lives given in vain, and I know it won't now. And I'm thankful to you for everything that you've done and for Weatherman. So I know you're thankful for the men and women who have given their lives, but I'm thankful back. So Slava Ukraine.
Slava Ukraini.